can't feel my face. Coffee spilling all over the place. Forgot the sticks, we're turning around. Another weekend in some hockey town. With a pucked up parents, frozen toes, big hearts, bad luck. With a pucked up parents, one more tourney, one more puck. We're broke, we're loud, we love this grind. Cause our kid just scored and we lost our minds.
Greetings and welcome to Pucked Up Parents. We are at episode 33. Angela, I don't have a joke for 33 because I'm still pondering about episode 32 when it was 32 degrees. It's still hot as hell in Cincinnati. Here we are yet again for another episode of Pucked Up Parents. Angela, aside from the heat, how you doing?
I mean, without the heat, I'd be great, but the heat is killing us this week. But welcome to our show, Pucked Up Parents. We are two first-generation hockey parents. Both of our kids started playing hockey. We knew nothing about the sport. And we've learned a lot in the last 12, almost 13 years of being hockey parents. And we are still learning every day and sharing with you things that we've learned and things that we're still learning.
Lucky at least Angela played sports as a kid. I didn't. I was terrible. I suck at all sports. I'm awful. So I found other things to do, like read books and became a firefighter. But Angela's the more athletic one. Clearly, the kids get their athleticism from her. From me, I'm not sure what they get other than maybe my at least the 18-year-old my tallness and my lankiness. So anyway, as we do every week, let's get to our weekly recap. How did hockey affect us this week? Angela, we both got to go to the beer league, not beer league, excuse me. He's 18 years old. The rec league game, and the Big Cheese Elite rec team won their game.
They did win their game. It was actually Sunday afternoon this week instead of late night on Tuesday. It was a great game, good game, decent competition. Neither team had a full bench, so I think some of the guys were tired towards the end, but all in good fun
You want to know why I showed up?
because it was so hot outside.
Exactly. I wanted to sit in the cold room just for a little bit. So yeah, we had that. It went on. The 12-year-old didn't have any hockey. He his 3-on-3, we'll call it a dad fail. I misinterpreted the timing of the schedule. So Angela and the 12-year-old got into the car, drove the 30 minutes to the rink, and whoops, dad was off an hour on the schedule. My fault.
No big deal. It was all good. He could have skated with the older kids, but he decided not to. He chickened out. But all good. We'll get back to that. I think they're off this week. We'll get back to that next week. And otherwise, I just think it's too hot for hockey. And the only good thing is when you go into the rink, it actually feels really good.
It does feel really good. With that, let's talk about a recap of last week. We've talked about it repeatedly. Hockey's in our lives. It's everywhere. I had to get some paper towels off the top shelf of the cabinet yesterday, and it was a little past my reach. So I whipped out the old Bauer and pulled me a paper towel, roll of paper towels down off the top shelf. So that goes right into what our subject was last week. Hockey infiltrates your lives, whether you like it or not, even when you're not playing. So I'm using a hockey stick to reach things.
Yeah, and I will say this heat is causing the stench in the garage to permeate a
I
little
love
further
it.
than it normally does.
You love it. It's nice to walk by every time I come in the door. So with that said, let's get to today's show. Angela, what's on tap for today?
Today we have a special guest, another guest interview. Loving doing these interviews and meeting and chatting with some more of our hockey family. Today we're joined by Chris Holmes. Chris is a youth hockey dad, a 10U coach, a goalie parent, which we love goalie parents, and also the founder of the Queen City Hockey Expo in Buffalo.
Chris, I gotta say, man, you are absolutely the opposite of us. You are a hockey parent with a little bit of hockey background. You're a coach and your kid plays goalie. Angela and I are none of those. Thank you so much. Welcome to Pucked Up Parents. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
So real quick before we get started, the Queen City Expo, that's what caught my eye. That's how you and I were introduced. The Queen City Expo is in Buffalo, New York at the, remind me where it's at, the
The Buffalo River Works, which
Buffalo
is
Works,
downtown Buffalo.
August 9th from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but first, Angela has a question she asks all our guests. So Angela, ask away.
My first question to almost everybody I meet in the hockey world is, what's your hockey origin story? How'd you get started in the sport and kind of your evolution through it?
So, I mean, I started at a young age. Family was involved with it. I was just kind of brought up with it and naturally started playing at a young age and played up through high school.
Did you grow up in Buffalo? You grew up in Buffalo? Are you in the Buffalo region all your life?
Yeah, most of my life, yeah, Buffalo.
And what position did you play?
Mostly forward, winger, some defense here and there when I had to fill in.
Now, was there hockey in your background? I mean, I guess being from again, we're from Kentucky, so hockey it's just not around. So, did your parents play? Your just your buddies? Was there like a school sponsored program or just a rec league? What type of thing we talking about?
I have an uncle that's 5 years older than me, and he played. So naturally, I looked up to him. I wanted to play. My grandfather, he had season tickets at Sabres back at the old Odd, and we used to go to games regularly and just kind of grew up with it all
So,
around. So,
the old uncle that's like 5 years older, the cool older uncle. I had quite a few of those. Unfortunately, they showed me how to do farming, and they didn't play pool sports. But yes, you always look up to the uncle who wasn't as old as your parents, but was just old enough to almost be like a bigger brother. So I imagine that's a big influence playing hockey. Let me ask you this: do you still have all your old jerseys? Like, do you still have them? Let your kids rock?
yeah, almost all of them. I am missing a couple, but yeah, I do have some of my old jerseys, and my son now plays on a team that I played for, so I was able to show him my old jersey from 20 years ago for the team that he's on.
I
Let's roll
love
into
that.
that. Let's roll into that. So your kid, at what age did they want to play hockey, or was this you were just like, hey, it was in my background. I'm going to put him out on the ice at age 3 or 4.
It started off just letting him make a choice. What sports do you want to play? He kind of tried football, taekwondo, didn't like it. And then one day he's like, I want to be a hockey goalie. I'm like, well, I don't know anything about being a goalie, but let's get you ice skating, get you on the ice and do some clinics. And we started there. So he started in at 9U. And then obviously last year was his first year in double A. Prior to that, he just did a couple months of clinics. So really, he just hit his 1 year anniversary over the early summer.
So let's expand on that. So he didn't play hockey defense forward. He came out the gate saying, "Dad, I want to be a goalie."
Yep, yep. He was idolizing Devin Levi of all goalies, and that's what he wanted to do. So we went for it.
And you said he started at age 9. I think you said he's at 10 years old now. Is that correct?
Yep, yep,
And he's already playing double A.
yep. He started in double A, so we went right
Oh,
from
wow.
skate clinics into double A travel hockey. You know, there was an opening. They were desperate for a goalie, and we kind of just we played a little bit of summer league, and he just got into it. He's been doing pretty well. So
Angela, you hear this? He and his son just basically held hands and jumped into the deep end of the pool immediately. That's very
That's
impressive of you.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that, and I love that he was on the mission of, "I'm gonna be a goalie," and we've heard that from other goalie parents too. We did a goalie parent interview early on, and longtime goalie of our oldest son, we interviewed mom, and he was the same way. He came out of the gate saying, "I wanna play goalie, I don't wanna do anything else, don't put me in as a skater, I just wanna be goalie." So I think it's in some of those the kids that play goalie, it's in their blood. It's just what they wanna do, and they go for it, and I think that's super cool.
yeah. Definitely takes a certain personality type to be goalie, and he seems to fit the mold pretty well.
So Chris Holmes joining us today again. Chris, at any point did you do what Angela and I did to our now 12-year-old? He started out, he just skated around, but he also mentioned playing goalie. And you know what we did? We talked him out of it. I mean, shame on us. We talked him out. It was there any point you were like, yeah, let's talk him out of it, or you were like, no, buddy, you made your mind up. You're good. I'm good. Let's do this.
He made his mind up, and I let him know. I said it's going to be a lot of work, and if that's what you want to do, I support it. And that's what we did. We did 2 sessions of skate clinics. We did some goalie classes, summer hockey league, and then we ended up hiring on a personal goalie coach for him too that helps him out. And it's really just he was determined to do it. And
I love it. I love the determination and the commitment. It sounds like he's super committed. Angela, do you have any questions about the goalie perspective? Because I have quite a few.
Well, so my first question, because goalies have that stigma of being weird, does he have any of those weird goalie quirks yet?
absolutely, absolutely. That's why I said he kind of fit the mold. He fits in real well. He's got a goofy personality, and obviously being in that position takes a lot of burden too. You
Yeah.
take all those hard losses, those shots. So he's got that toughness about him. Obviously, we do have bad days, but he works well with it.
Off the top of your head, any odd quirks like our goalie Chase? I think he wore the same pants or the same undergarments for the entire season. I don't think he washed them once. That was his quirk.
He also rolls his socks down instead of,
His
like
roll,
he rolls his socks so
yeah, like donuts. You know,
like a
like donuts.
donut around his ankle when he comes into the rink. Been doing that for years.
Nothing like that. I mean, he did grow a crazy mullet this year. That was his thing. His choice in outfits. He wears all the Zubas and Sabres gear. And he's mix and matching. He makes his own. He's got his own look. That's for sure.
What's the most difficult part of being the goalie parent? Is it the last minute tie game or up by one, or is it just the breakaway in the overtime, a shootout, or is it, hey Dad, one of my pads are broken, and you're breaking out the checkbook, breaking out the old credit card. What's the most difficult part of being a goalie parent?
Obviously, the expense of it is very challenging. Him being 9 years old, he's in his third sets of pads already in 1 year. So there's definitely an expense there. But I think the hardest part is just the emotional aspect of being a goalie. You get that bad shot that goes in, you lose that game. He carries the burden for the whole team. Where a lot of times skaters, a goal goes in, they're like, all right, kind of move on. And the goalies they hold on to that. Yep. So it's really hard. It's 70% psychological and 30% hockey skill.
I personally don't see how they do it. I mean, they are the last line of defense. It's not, I mean, it's entirely not their fault. The defense breaks down. So they had their chance to stop the puck before it even got shot. And kudos to your son playing goalie, choosing to play goalie. And kudos to you as a dad supporting that. I couldn't do it personally. Angela, I don't know about you. I don't know how I could have gone through being a goalie parent. I'm already a stressed guy as it is. I'm very high wound, so to speak, stress wise. But a goalie parent, I would probably be on a heart monitor right now.
Yeah,
Definitely challenging there.
yeah, I think it's definitely a different vibe in the stands. Are you the goalie parent who is standing behind the glass, or are you the goalie parent who is in the stands with the rest of the parents, or maybe taking a walk?
So I started on the glass and I ended up on the bench.
Perfect transition, Angela. Perfect
Yeah,
transition.
yeah.
He started
Uh,
on the glass. I don't. We're gonna get to that. What made you go and become a coach?
a lot of it was just seeing because obviously my son Cole and then the other goalie we have, Mikey, both first year goalies on our team. And just being at practice, they were a little shorthanded with coaching. The coach is not super familiar with the goalie position. And it just seemed like Cole and Mikey were kind of just left on the end of the rink, goofing off a
So,
little bit. They
so
weren't getting a
you
lot of attention. So I asked to step in and say, hey, can I work with these guys? When you're doing skating drills, can I work with the goalies? That's just kind of how it started. I got on the ice with them and just started working with them. And
so you were the goalie coach for the team.
I was at that point. Yeah.
Okay, so we've had feedback, Angela and I have it, especially after our goalie episode, and even just reaching out, like, what do you miss in hockey, or what things are missing in hockey? What is needed in hockey? And I can tell you that one of the top, at least three that I heard back in the feedback was lack of goalie coaches. And to your point, it was my son's over there as a goalie, not getting attention, or they're just saying, hey, block these shots as we take shots. That was a huge deficit in a lot of parents' mind. Now, Angela and I came up, and our sons both tend to have goalie coaches. We were well off, lucky, but I saw it happening. So kudos to you for doing that. Did you know anything about goalie at the time, or were you
No,
like me,
no.
YouTubing stuff?
I went to YouTube. Obviously, just I started signing them up for goalie clinics, and I watched. I watched what they were doing. I watched the drills, and just started just rehearsing that at the practices. Like, hey guys, we did this in drill last week. Let's work on these moves. Let's work on these exercises, and we went from there. But
You see what Chris did there, Angela? He paid for his kids' goalie clinics, and then he sat and watched, took notes, and learned himself. So he double dipped on them. Not only did the kid get training, he also got training. Where me, I would sit in the stands and whip out a book and not pay attention to a damn thing.
it's
Exactly. You'd be reading some weird sci-fi story instead of gaining hockey knowledge.
Hail Mary is such a great book. I'm assuming it's volunteer, right? This is all volunteer.
yes, yep,
That's
absolutely.
that is amazing. An amazing father to coach your son and to coach his friends, and amazing to volunteer your time for youth. And that is also another thing that's severely lacking, not only in hockey but in life, is volunteers.
I think it's fantastic. I think you jumping out there and doing what you've done and learning those drills and diving in is fantastic. I think that's going to carry not only your son but the team. That's going to carry them over the next few years. They're getting that base foundation. And I think that's fantastic.
Are you still just the goalie coach, or are you taking on the head coaching job?
This year, transitioning to assistant coach. So I will be working with the head coach, with the forwards. Mostly, we had a couple guys switch teams, and the goalie coach that I was sending Cole to in the beginning, and the private coach that we brought in, we're going to bring on the ice a few times a month to work with the goalies instead of me, so I can help focus on forwards. And then the days he's not there, we'll work with them individually on our own. But
All right. So, as a coach, if maybe even from a goalie coach perspective, what surprised you most once you became a coach? Was it the parents? Was it the kids are absorbing it, or they're paying attention, or anything that stands out that you were like, wow, this actually happens as a coach?
the different personalities, I guess. All these little humans, they're so different. They all respond differently to different instructions. So just learning them, learning their personalities, getting through to them, working with them, teaching them to overcome some of the hardships they're having in the game is probably the most difficult part. But
So you're at age, you said 10U, is that correct? 10U?
we're 10U this year, yeah.
Okay. Are you kind of straddling that line between you're still developing their skills, still developing the offsides and all that stuff versus now we're focused on winning? Like Angela and I can kind of see that slow transition. Again, we're not. Our son does play double A hockey, our 12-year-old, and they're slowly making that transition into development versus now it's all about winning. It's all about playing upper tier. Are you still kind of at that 50-50 line? Whereas 2 years ago, it's more development focused?
So last year, for instance, this team that we started with, it was a new travel team pieced together from a couple other teams. A lot of the kids came off of half ice. So it was their first year playing full ice too. So the first few months of playing games, we had some
Offsides,
struggles.
offsides.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Offsides was a big one. Just passing, trying not to go coast to coast, which is like it was twice as long for a lot of these kids, obviously, because it's full ring. But we definitely had some struggles in the beginning of the season. And towards the end of the year, we really dialed them in and finished off with a winning season and pulled the championship off at the end of the years.
Well, that's true. You are a double A team, so the expectation, not only for the development, but the expectation of the team of the double A is that you're going to win some games. You should win some games.
Yep.
And it sounds like you absolutely did.
Yeah, yeah, definitely got way competitive towards the end of the season. We did a couple out of town tournaments. We did pretty well. We came runner up in a Detroit tournament against some very good teams. So we did pretty well.
And feel free to shout out your team. What's the team's name?
It's the Celltown Stars 10U green team, they call it. There's a green and a gold team. So we're the development side of that double A bracket, where the gold team is, they've been together like 4 or 5 years now.
Okay, well, go Stars. Is that what we say? Go Stars?
Yep.
Go
Excellent.
Stars.
So, are most of your games, I guess, in this age group? I'm assuming you get to do a lot more local games than we do. Kind of more in that Western New York area.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, a lot of the teams, I would say half of them are within the county, and then we do travel out as far as like Olean or Rochester. The furthest team that we play that's in our league is Canandaigua, which is about 2.5 hour drive. So I mean, it's all pretty close. I would say a half hour, 45 minutes. With the Rochester teams, there's four of those, being about a 2 hour drive.
Angela, you hear that? 2 hours, 2 hours away. Chris, unfortunately, here in Kentucky, when your kid plays double A, we've got to drive to Detroit. We got to drive to Pittsburgh. One summer, we actually drove to Buffalo to play a tournament. Up in
Several
Buffalo.
summers we drove to Buffalo.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. Several times we've driven to Buffalo, so a lot more. It's more difficult for us to get double A teams to come to our area because a severe lack of rinks and lack of tournaments. So we have to do more. We have to come to them.
Yeah.
And lack of teams because you don't want to drive all the way to Cincinnati and there's one double A team. So that's one of those things that we struggle with and end up on the road a lot more. But I think that's fantastic that you have that many teams and you can really develop that competition in that much smaller radius. I think that's great. And we're talking about winning games and strategy and all of that. Especially with our oldest, we found that winning games is great, but also playing that tougher competition and really push the kids to become better players. So we might have lost 50% of our games, but they were hard fought games, they were close games, and the kids really gained a lot of skill by playing those upper tier teams.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You ever dip into Canada? Like you're close. Do you ever
We
go to
haven't
Canada?
yet. We haven't yet. We've discussed it, trying to get into some tournaments. I mean, Toronto's 2 hours away. So there's a lot of competitive tournaments up there. We definitely discussed getting into that a little bit, if not just a couple scrimmages here and there too. So
So let's talk about the best subject from a coaching perspective. Us parents, and I know the personalities. You talk about the personality of the kids. They each all have their own little personalities, and it's cute at that age. I'm 48, and I think my kid's going to go to the NHL. How do you deal with the tough parents, or what can parents do to make your job as a coach easier?
easier,
Just
you
shut up,
know,
sit down and shut up. Let me coach.
yeah.
If that's the
Uh,
answer, hell yeah.
a lot of it is just a lot of personality difference there too, right? So not just approaching the players, but approaching the parents with issues. That's tough too. Just dealing with different personalities. You don't know their background. So you got to be that neutral position and really not offend somebody because the whole point is to get the team closer and grow together and keep the guys together. So my best advice to a parent would just be open minded. If you have suggestions, make them after the game or after practice on an email or a message or on Team Snap, something like that, and address them privately. Try not to shout over the boards. Let us do our job when we're on the ice. It's stressful enough because I mean we're still trying to figure it out too. We don't we you got a lot to learn in the middle of the game, in the middle of a practice. So having somebody shouting over the glass is always makes it a little bit more challenging and that. So
Well,
Makes it more challenging for the coaches and the kids
yeah.
because it's like, "Hey, who do I listen to? Mom or dad yelling from over the boards and coach is saying something else over here," and that's always a tough situation.
Yeah.
I, for one, am offended because if I tell my kid to skate up near the blue line and you're telling him not to, I think I know better despite me not having any background in hockey and not being a coach and not knowing a damn thing and just being observing. Great advice. And Angela and I have always kind of been under the way of whatever the coaches said. And we've never had confrontations with our coaches and we've met them out for drinks. We're friends with them to this day. But we've seen the other side of the coin where these parents are belligerent to the coaches and next year they're not on the team anymore. It's the toxic parent ends up getting a decent kid off the team, and that's a crying shame. I don't want to say it's getting worse. Maybe it seems like it's worse because everybody has a camera in their hands, but it just seems like parents need to let the coaches cook.
Yep. Yep. And there's plenty of opportunity to get involved too. Like you said, there's a lack of
Yeah,
opportunity. So if you feel like you want to be part of it, ask to be part of it. Let's come up with a game plan. If you have suggestions or if you don't want to be on the ice or can't be on the ice and say, hey, I noticed this from the stands. I don't know if you saw it or not, but can we work on this next week? And you got to be open to that too. Feedback and communication is key. Keeping it positive, keeping it polite.
you hear that, Angela? So I can go to our coaches and say, "Listen, I was playing Blades of Steel last night on my vintage Nintendo, and I found a play that's gonna work. First, we need to create a player who's a real big player and can skate slowly." So great answers. And before we get to the Queen City Hockey Expo, which I really want to go, we have some rapid fire questions. Angela, you want to pop off the first one? So just some rapid fire questions. Give us your first thought.
Yeah, just real quick, just kind of off the cuff, what is your favorite hockey memory so far?
Bringing home that championship last season. That was my first. I never won one as a player. So to be part of that and experience that with the kids was just surreal and exciting, and to see them go through it was probably the best experience I've had.
Also, on a similar note, but not based on the tournament win. Best coaching win that never shows up on a scoreboard. What do you think that is for you?
The best coaching win that doesn't show up on a scoreboard
Yep.
is seeing seeing a player develop, seeing someone do something, acquire an achievement, a goal, an assist, a block, just one of those plays that everybody sees and it's just like, wow, where'd this kid come from? That would probably be the best, win or lose.
I gotta say, as a parent, same for us. Seeing your kid's success on the ice, even if it's not a championship, damn good skate or a damn good shot is good enough for me. What's the hardest conversation you ever had as a coach with a player? Have you had to, sorry kid, we gotta let you go, or your mom and dad are being assholes, we gotta let you go. Any hard conversations yet, or you haven't reached that?
Unfortunately, I haven't had to let anybody go. I was just helping out last year. I was kind of in a third position down from head coach, but I would say like the hardest thing is just disciplining the kids. They were 9-year-old boys, and some of them didn't get along all the time, and they were hard on
Yeah.
each other. And pulling them aside and having that talk, like say, "Hey, you guys are on the same team. You can't be hitting each other on the head. We got to play this game together. We got to play as a team." And that could be difficult sometimes because they're not your kid. You don't. It's hard to come down on them. If it was my son, it's easy to kind of say, "Hey, stop being an idiot." But
Right.
it could be. Yeah, you gotta approach it a little differently when it's someone else's kids.
The phrase "save that aggression for the other team" ever come out? Like,
Oh, all
"Hey,
the time.
stop shoving him. Shove the other team when we get on the
Yep.
ice."
Yep, absolutely. Like, you guys can't hurt each other. We need each other for the next game.
We talked a bit about the goalie quirks. Do you have any, as a coach, any pregame rituals or any team pregame rituals?
I mean, one of the things I like to do is talk about it. Like, if we're getting on the ice, like, hey, what did we do last game? What can we improve? What can you do better? And we did a thing where we passed around a giant tape ball in the locker room, and everybody had an opportunity to say, hey, let's do this today. Or after the game, just kind of like debrief. Those are the rituals I like. It's fresh in their minds. Let's correct the mistakes then and move on. So we're not dwelling on things or they don't start reoccurring on a weekly basis. So,
What's a hockey myth us parents should stop believing?
oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I think, if I were to think of one, it's that, especially for, I mean, as it gets seasoned, people get better. I think it's your kid's not your kid's not going to the NHL. There's a remote possibility. Anything is absolutely possible, but there's a lot of parents. I don't know how your league is, but there's a lot of parents, and we're in Kentucky and Ohio, who think their kid is destined for NHL, and it's reality check years later when that doesn't happen.
Yeah, a lot of kids drop out like I did. You get to high school and you get a driver's license and life changes and hockey is not an important thing anymore, even though so much time and money was invested. So your interest change to a parent. I saw the other day they were saying like the 160th draft pick may never play an NHL game.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, the odds are against you. Even if you do get drafted, you still might not play. Devin Levi is a good example. Yeah, he did get some ice time, but he played in Rochester most of his career. So it got to the point where it's like, hey, we got a great goalie in Rochester. What are they going to do? And they ended up trading him off. So we'll see.
Angela. All right. Angela and I were the pucked up parents. Angela and I walked into this sport. Our son started playing at age, what, Angela's age 6. We knew nothing about this game. What would you say to parents like us? And maybe it's a little bit better up in Buffalo. Or let's say Angela and I moved from Kentucky to Buffalo, and we're bringing our 9-year-old in. He wants to play. What advice would you give to us with zero hockey background? Hey, listen, coach, our kid wants to play hockey. We've taken some skate lessons. We've done a few hockey lessons. We don't know what we're getting into. What's the good piece of advice for her and I?
Be patient. What doesn't happen overnight? It's one of the most complicated sports to play. Also, don't fully commit, like play some other sports. It all helps develop over time and be prepared to start writing checks. Very expensive.
Well, and that's part of the overly committing. Don't overly commit and buy your kid all brand new gear to
Yeah, buy,
start.
buy used.
Not used.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our segment that we call Are We There Yet? Rinks and Road Trips. And in this, we want to talk all about the Queen City Hockey Expo that you're putting on August 9th in Buffalo at the Riverworks, which I've been to that facility. Great facility. Wish we could be there. But let's talk a little bit about the idea, where that came from, and how you started putting it together.
By trade, I'm in the bicycle business, and we've done a similar shows in the area over the past few years, and this last year, it was at Riverworks, and I was sitting there as a vendor, and I'm like, "Man," "this place is, like, hockey written all over it." No one does a hockey trade show, so I researched a little bit. There was nothing going on in the area, and I said, "Well, I might as well try it and give it a shot." So I emailed Riverworks, talked to them about it. They're fully supportive and just started putting it out on Facebook, Instagram, messaging people, just getting the word out and trying to get it going. I'm kind of using a very similar format that we use with the bike one, where we're going to have a used equipment section and then also a line of vendors. So hoping it's successful. And the plan is to do it every year, make it an annual thing. So
So there is no hockey expos in Buffalo right now at all.
no, nothing that
That's
yeah.
I mean, as an outsider looking towards Buffalo, New York, I would expect that to be an annual thing going on in New York. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's surprising that it hasn't happened yet. So
let me share a story with that, how I ran across your flyer. So I don't know if you know it or not. Cincinnati is also referred to as the Queen City, and I think Angela. I think there's like a ton of other Queen cities. It's
There
not a
are,
very
yeah,
common.
so there's
probably one in every state, right?
right, yeah. So there's essentially a queen city in every state, but I think the ones that are really kind of the most known are going to be Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Charlotte are all called the Queen City. And in fact, one of the hockey rinks here in Cincinnati is the Queen City Sportsplex.
So when I saw that, I was like, "Holy cow! There's going to be a hockey expo in Cincinnati." This is I didn't know there was other Queen cities. I was like, "Holy cow! This is awesome!" So I started reading the flyer. I'm like, where the hell is this located at? The what is it? The Buffalo River
River.
Works. Wait, Buffalo, New York. And then I started looking at Buffalo, New York. So this is awesome. Let's talk about it. August 5th, 12 to 5 o'clock. Free admission, right? This thing is free. You don't have to pay to get in.
Yep, it's gonna be free admission for all attendees.
Run through. We have an equipment swap, so I can bring in my
You
Sam shot up a foot in last month, so I got some new equipment that I can exchange.
Yep. So you bring it in. We're gonna have like separate corral area. We have a couple teams sponsoring that. They're also gonna run an equipment drive where they bring in equipment that's donated in. Anything that sells that's donated in, they get 100% of the proceeds. Anything like if you were to bring in a pair of skates for $50 and you sell them for $50, we take a small commission just to cover credit card processing fees and the rental, and then you get your money back out of that. If you bring stuff in, other people can come in and shop.
It's a hockey swap meet, Angela. That's what this
I
is.
like that.
Yeah, it's like
I
a
like that.
hockey swap meet. And through our communication, you seem like you support a lot of small businesses. Clearly, Angela and I are just a mom and pop. That makes us sound older than we are, but we're just like we're not a professional podcast. But you do seem like you support the smaller businesses. Our friends at Willie Wax, I know they're setting up a booth. What other small businesses do you have there?
So we got skate skins that's going to be there. He just confirmed that. Makuchi Goalie School. Man, they're kind of getting away from me at the moment. We have a
Well,
nutritionist in there.
and then I
What's
saw
that?
your sponsor. You're sponsored by Howie's. How did the How and Howie's is a big company, but we love them too. How did you connect with the Howie's organization?
So yeah, I mean, I at first when I started doing this, I just grabbed every hockey company that I knew of and just sent out an email and just said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Do you want to be part of it?" Howie's jumped on it immediately. They said, "We can't be there, but we'll send you a bunch of stuff for giveaways and stuff." And that's where we came up with the grab bag. So the first 200, we got to figure out how we're going to do it. But I'm thinking anybody who shows up with the player jersey gets a bag, and obviously all the vendors are kind of chipping in a little bit for these bags, so they get to go home with a little something.
I'm hoping that a Pucked Up Parents sticker and card will be in that bag. Angela, if you can get those stickers shipped to Chris here.
That's the plan. They're on order. They're on the way to me right now, and then I'll turn them around to get them out to Chris within the next week or so.
So it's cool that you have Willie Wax and you have Howie's Hockey. So hopefully there's like not a turf war there of the wax competition, but I
Yeah.
imagine the smells are going to be amazing because Willie Wax has some amazing smells. So does Howie's Hockey. And you're going to have clinics too, right? Coaches are going to be in there. You're a coach. So kids can come in, bring their gear and get a little bit of training.
Yeah, that's the idea. That part was moving a little slow, but I'm still working on it because we do have the rinks reserved. I keep telling the coaches, like, hey, if you just want to do a 30-minute demonstration, get to know people on a little bit of a broader basis instead of the one on one. If they come up to a table, the opportunity is there. Just kind of feeling it out. Don't know how that's going to go if we're going to do that or not. That may get cut from the schedule, but we'll see how it goes. If I can get it to happen, I would love to see it. I think it would be a good opportunity for players and parents to meet some of these coaches that they might only see on Facebook or a flyer at the rink.
Well, Chris, I got to tell you, there's going to be demos, whether you like it or not, because any place where there are sticks and pucks and balls and children, there's going to be a knee hockey breaking out or kids hitting up against the wall. I hope the place is lined in pool noodles and styrofoam.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll get something going.
And what about like I know the Buffalo Riverworks scene, Angela, I think it has a ton of food. Are you having food vendors there, or is it just kind of walk around because
No,
clearly,
no food vendors. The Buffalo River Works, they got their
yeah.
own restaurant and bar. Obviously, it's part of that. They got the boat docks. Hopefully, a beautiful day. People coming on a boat. There's an amusement park there. So there's a lot to do, including the hockey expos. As people come in, hopefully they stay a little while, get to enjoy the venue and see things.
Let's get behind the velvet rope here, the behind the scenes as Chris put this together. Been the biggest challenge putting this all together? Just corralling everybody, or is it
Yeah, I mean, now
non-responses?
yeah, getting responses, just not really building a reputation for it, I guess, because I'm a small business owner, and I know a lot of these other small business owners are probably a little weary. The venue is being charged through the vendors, which is a small amount to try to keep it as minimal as possible. I'm just building trust with that, getting people to invest in a little bit, show them that this could work if we all show up and it's a successful event. You'll easily make your money back. So that's probably the biggest challenge is just getting those commitments. I did start planning this early spring, trying to reach out. A lot of people have commitments. Our summers are very short. Totally understand. As one of the hardest part about the coaches is that a lot of them are already booked for that day. It's hard to get them in. Just trying to get that going is probably the most challenging part.
Again, we're in Kentucky, but your advertisements and your follow-ups and your posting of each vendor that comes on board has been great. I think there's a good buzz out there. I know there's a really truthfully only handful of good youth hockey pages, like on Facebook, for example. You're out there. I think the word is out there. I think anybody in the Buffalo area should show up. Anybody in the New York upper region there should show up.
Any big surprises other than the fact that there wasn't a hockey expo in New York or in Buffalo? Because I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, I think this in itself is the big surprise, and I hope that when people come in and see it and see what it actually is, and it's not just a trade show where people are trying to sell you something, but it's a meet and greet. It's seeing other families. It's kind of just pulling the community together outside of a game because there's a lot of us. It's the only time we get to see each other is in a game, and we may not look at each other as friend that day, more foe. So hopefully getting people together saying, "Hey, we all got a lot in common. Let's build a community. Let's do something positive with it." And in turn, hopefully, like I said, it works against some of those negative parent interactions that we see on social media. If you become more familiar with each other, we don't see things that happen nationwide, some of these bad incidents. So
Right, you're removing the whole aspect of the competition of a game where these parents from 2 different teams are against each other, and you're putting them in a setting where we're all sharing the same thing, and that's swapping hockey stories, swapping hockey gear, visiting vendors, so it's a great way to get the youth hockey community of Buffalo. Now, is it limited to just the youth, or is there like is it just hockey for everybody? Are you exchange do you expect, like, adult gear to be here as well?
I hope so. Yeah, I want this hockey for everybody. That's why there's a little bit for everyone. I'll have a final vendor list out. There's a couple that I'm working on that I haven't announced yet that are very serious about it. I think once the show happens and people show up and they see what's going on, there's a little bit of something for everybody, not just the kids. So
On on behalf of Angela and I mean, please feel free to send us any of your advertisements, any of your vendor lists, and we'll happily share on our Instagram, on our Facebook. Again, Pucked Up Parents on Facebook, Pucked Up Parents on Instagram. Now, aside from Angela and I as the Pucked Up Parents, do you have a dream guest that you would love to see at one of your shows? I'm like an NHL player, a Buffalo Saver. Who would you like to see walk into your venue and sit down and talk hockey?
oh man, it'd be great to see like Rob Ray or somebody show up. Iconic. He's so involved in the community. Hashik's got Hashik's Heroes. That would be amazing to see. Yeah, I mean, anybody really. I mean, even if Josh Allen shows up, he seems to pop in and out of places. You never know. And he's a Buffalo Bill, but he's a huge supporter of the community, no matter what sport it is or what people are doing. So
Idea what our listener base is, but if anybody knows any of those people, including Josh Allen, please send them to the Buffalo River Works for the Hockey Expo on August 9th.
I know you're still in planning stages right now and you're getting really close to, we're what, about a month out from the
yeah,
event? So I'm guessing you want this to be an annual thing. And does planning for year two start the next week?
yeah, I mean, basically, it's how I would because I'm seeing how much work it is just to get it to this point in a short amount of time. I want to say the bike show was in April, March or April, and that's where I got the idea. So it seemed like it was far enough away to get planning. So I got a little ambitious. I said, well, let's do it this year before someone else does it. And started working on it. And it's stressful. I'm really nervous about it. Not that I got much to lose, but I just want to make sure that it goes off well and that people enjoy themselves and they have fun. And then next year we can expand the list a little bit more and get more people involved, especially these local businesses that are going to be there. Help they get a lot more exposure. And there was many that I didn't know that were local to Buffalo. I seen them online on Facebook, and I'm like, I always knew that brand, but I didn't realize that, like, hey, we share the same rink together. Like, our kids play different age groups, but in the same locker rooms. And so that was really cool to see how many people are local to Buffalo. And that's important to me. Just being a small business owner is to support the little guys. The big guys get all the recognition. It's always
Yeah,
nice to help out.
it's surprising to even if we're 12 years into it, how small the hockey world truly is. Even in the smaller towns like in Buffalo, where you're realizing some of these companies actually are based out of Buffalo. Like when you posted about Willie Wax joining up, I'm like, holy cow, we worked with them a few months earlier. They sent us some free samples. We love them. It was good to see you two linked together because I was like, it's like two different friends meeting to each other.
It's the hockey family, and we've realized so much over the last 12 years how interconnected the hockey families are, and the players and parents, and we can be in Buffalo, New York, and run into maybe a kid that our older son went to camp with, or a coach that he saw at a camp or at a training session years before. I think it's just really cool, and I love that you're trying to put all of that together in this expo.
Great. Thank you.
Wish we had an expo. And I'll make this commitment right now. If you make it to year two, and it sounds like you're absolutely going to make it to year two, Angela will drive to Buffalo to be there. Me, I'm maybe, I don't know, or I'll catch a flight. I don't know. I ain't coming to Oregon.
I tried to fly to Buffalo one time. It takes almost as long to fly there as it does to drive because there's no direct flight between Cincinnati and
Uh,
Buffalo.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not easy to get to. All right, let's get to just like before. We have a few lightning round questions, and because you're a dual purpose guest, we've got some quick questions for you. Angela, you want to run through the lightning before we get to the reflections?
All right, best hockey purchase under $50.
Ooh, deodorizers or cleaners.
That's a good answer. Good answer.
Yes.
Stinky gear at least makes mention every one of our episodes. So yes, deodorizer or exorcist. One piece of gear that every parent should own as a hockey parent.
As a hockey parent, definitely their team swag. Anything you can get a hoodie, a jersey, a hat, represented everywhere. It's a big deal to the kids. So
See me, I'm opposite. It's, I gotta have a big burly coat because I get cold easily. Not right now because it's hot
it's
outside, but in the wintertime, I'm such a wimp in the rink. Angela, go ahead.
All right, so this question is interesting. One invention that needs to exist for hockey, what would that be?
Yeah,
ooh,
I would almost take that back to your first answer.
This
A miracle
um,
deodorizer, like a machine you just zap.
yeah, like an equipment sauna that you just put everything in and it just takes care of it.
it comes out smelling like perfume rather than
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be
a
great.
car wash for gear. Angela and I are pop culture fanatics. We talk a lot of pop culture here. What's your favorite pop culture hockey movie or TV show?
I mean, Miracle. I mean, that's the best hockey movie out there. It's I can watch it 1,000 times and it never wears off. It's just such a good feeling to watch that movie.
It's a great story, and Kurt Russell is an American legend.
Yeah, he killed it.
Angela, and I'll let you get our last one, Angela.
Okay, so finish the sentence. Youth hockey parents worry too much about blank.
Winning, they forget the experience, and that was one thing I told my kids that the first year that when I played for Stars, we lost every single game that season. We never won a game, but I was 14 at the time, and to this day, all of my hockey friends that I have from my youth, the majority of them are from that team just because we bonded so well. The experience we had, we found a way to have fun even though we couldn't win a game and that bond just never went away. So
Angela's always said the same thing, and it's months later, year later, when you think back to that tournament that we had in Pittsburgh that we got our asses kicked. The story wasn't how bad we got beat; it was how much fun the kids had, and it's what the kids they remember how much fun they had hanging with their buddies,
yeah,
and that's what hockey does for your kids and for us. It creates those memories, and it isn't always about championship trophies. It's great to win them, but at the end of the day, it's all about the bonding between the kids and the bonding between the parents.
yeah.
All right, let's get to our segment. We call it Life Moves Pretty Fast. It's a reflections. And Chris, after all these years, you're a player, you're a parent, you're a coach, you're a goalie coach, and now you're doing a hockey expo. What advice would you give anyone if they even thought about getting as involved as you had in any of these tasks?
Don't be afraid. Don't say no. Just take that step and work at it. And everybody's a beginner. Every professional is a beginner at one point, and you just gotta do it, get comfortable, and grow with it. And being on that journey yourself helps the kids grow with you because you're on that journey together. And I think it just that's the most helpful part was just taking those steps, volunteering, at every fundraiser, every party, every get together, just find out a way to get there and be there.
And I think that's a great even for our tip of the week. It sounds like volunteer. I mean, everything in that ratted off. It doesn't sound like these are money makers. Clearly, hockey. Your kids playing hockey. That's you're spending money, especially as a goalie parent. So where you can volunteer, and volunteers are always needed. Get out there and help. Don't be part of the problems, yelling in the crowd or complaining about the person keeping the scorecard wrong or the person who's working the box wrong or even the coaches. Get out there and help them live a life in their shoe. Angela and I had an interview with a ref a couple episodes ago, and that was eye opening. As much grief as those refs get, they don't get paid very much, but the joy our interviewee took in being a ref, and it opened our ears up to, hey, these guys are out there for a reason. They're helping, they're volunteer. Granted, they are getting paid, but they are volunteering their time because they all have full time jobs. So volunteer where you can, help where you can, and heck, start a hockey expo because it sounds like it's desperately needed in Buffalo. I wish we could have one in Cincinnati. I'm not sure we can sustain one based on our lack of hockey, but it sounds great. And let's get to our outro. And Chris, I'm going to leave this to you. So let's talk about the Queen City Expo. When, where, what time, what can we expect? Where can we park? What do we need to bring?
If you got used equipment you want to get rid of and sell, it's a great opportunity to sell some used equipment in a community that's not Facebook Marketplace, something like that. People kicking tires. And you can make some money back that day. If you have stuff and you want to donate it to the teams that are volunteering for the equipment drive, that's going to a good cause. It's going to help them get to some tournaments and things like that, help them with their dues. Parking is abundant. There's going to be plenty to do. If the expo you go through there, there's also an amusement park, a restaurant, a bar. There's the docks with the boats. There's plenty to do, plenty to see. Be a great day to come out and just hang out and have a good time.
I got to expect that if I'm bringing equipment to sell, I should probably douse it with a little bit of Lysol. Maybe let air out a little bit.
It'll help the value. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so to any parent, anybody up in Buffalo, New York around the August 9th timeframe, if you're going up to Niagara, if you're going up road tripping up to Toronto, stop into the Buffalo River Works. Again, beautiful area. Angela and I have been there. Angela's been a couple of times. I've been once. It's a beautiful area. There's lots to see there, and you're going to get an opportunity to get a lot of hockey stuff. And what a perfect time for it. Beginning of August, hockey is right around the corner. Hockey Eve is August. It's right there. So August 9th, the Queen City Hockey Expo, 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Buffalo River Works. And the best thing of all, unlike everything else in hockey, it's free admission. You get in for free, absolutely free. Now, you might spend some money when you're in there because, your kid wants some wax and your kid wants a sticker and they wants a t-shirt, but you get in for free. So,
And you need new gear.
You know,
and they need new gear, exactly. So come on down to the Riverworks. Come down to the Queen City Hockey Expo. Look us up on Facebook. Chris, where are you at on Facebook? Where do our listeners look? Are you on Instagram as well?
Facebook and Instagram, just search Queen City Hockey Expo, Buffalo, New York. You should bring you right to the page.
And also, it'll be on our page as well on the Pucked Up Parents on Instagram, Pucked Up Parents on Facebook. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us online. I know Chris takes messages online as well in Facebook because that's how him and I connected. So feel free to reach out to him. If you want to ask us, Angela and I will be happily able to pass it on to Chris as well.
Appreciate everyone listening. Please like, share, and follow on whatever platform you're listening on, and also follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
That's true. We do have merchandise tagged to the top of the page, t-shirts, hoodies, blankets, stuff you don't need in the summertime. There's also stickers out there. If you go to the Queen City Expo, there may be a chance, or there may be a chance you get a Pucked Up Parent sticker there. Hopefully, we can get those up to Chris in time. Also, remember, you're not the only one lost in this sport. You're not confused at the rink by yourself. We are your tribe. Join us for the ride. And remember, we are all in this together. Keep your stick on the ice. Thank you.
Up before dawn, can't feel my face. Coffee spilling all over the place. Forgot the sticks, we're turning around.